Hi everyone, welcome back to Hannah's Decodes. I'm Hannah, hope you're all well. This is take number 4. I've been running out of room on my phone, so I've got to do something serious about my phone and storage and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this one will work. So what I wanted to talk about today is kind of the energy in our world at the moment and the ups and downs of it. And I thought I'd share a dream I had many years ago, and I was talking with friends yesterday about it excuse me, and they thought the dream matched kind of the energy and what's happening in the world at the moment. So I thought I'd share a little bit about, or tell you about the dream that I had. So I had this dream a long time ago, and I was flying in a hand glider. So I was sort of hovering way above, right above the world, looking down at the world of the globe of the world, and noticing that there were these wind currents, like slipstreams of wind. You know how you know there's currents that go around the earth in the water. I've heard there's similar things in the air, like slipstreams of, there's probably a term, a word for it and a term for it. But it was like this sort of tube of air, sort of with wind whizzing through it. And I noticed that there were people in this kind of slipstream of air that were going so fast, and it all just seemed really out of control and crazy. And I was very pleased that I was just hovering above it all and observing. And then before I knew it, I was dragged into the slipstream of this wind tunnel and sort of lost track of my hand glider that sort of went off somewhere. And then I landed in, I thought it was Antarctica, but so I was underwater in freezing cold water, but it didn't feel cold. And I saw a polar bear swim past me. So I thought, well, this is probably the northern hemisphere with a polar bear. It all didn't, like dreams often don't make sense. And I thought, well, I'm going to be eaten by the polar bear, but it just ignored me and swam past. And then I thought, oh, I'm going to kind of die from the cold because it's so cold. And I realized, I looked up and there was a big ice sheet above me, and I thought, how am I going to get out of this? This is it. This is kind of the end of my world. And then I swam up to the ice sheet and I just pushed it up, and it broke and I could get out. And then suddenly I was on the surface of the ice, and all around me were I think mainly women. There might have been some men, women and children who looked like they were from India. They had sort of Hindu saris on and sort of, the cultural dress of India. And so I sensed that they were in a similar situation to me, and they were waiting to get out. And also around were a lot of buses that, I don't know if anyone's ever been to India, and they often have these red buses that they decorate and they paint them and they put flowers over them and stuff. So they're quite interesting. But I was assuming we're all going to get on these buses and go somewhere that's a bit safer and more, probably a bit more civilized, I suppose, where we can get warm and food and all that kind of stuff. So that was the dream. And I was talking to my friends about it the other day, and they said that dream seems to relate to the energies that are happening now, this kind of frenetic energy. And I was thinking the other night, I've lived in the same house and area for about 23 years. And when we arrived here, I can remember because we were living in the inner city, and we arrived here. It's sort of a leafy suburb on the outer skirts of Sydney. And just remembering how quiet it was. And over the years, it's got noisier and noisier, and more cars and more people and more apartments going up, which is fine, that's part of life. But I've noticed a lot more ambulances than ever before, even in the last, say, 3 or 4 years. And sometimes it feels like there's an ambulance every day. Anyway, the other night I woke up and it was really still. We've had a lot of rain, and it was just before a big downpour of rain. I heard an ambulance and it sounded like it stopped outside my house or near my house. And I just thought, sometimes when there's so much frenetic and stuff happening in the world, I look at the world as like a matrix, and I think that the stuff is happening to respond to the collective kind of psyche almost. And my feeling is that there's a whole lot of stuff happening to kind of shift people's consciousness and wake them up to a degree. And I've sort of probably been waking up for many years, I think, gradually. And I think a big wake-up call for me was what happened during the last 5 years with the COVID stuff, and realizing I couldn't make or change people's minds to do what I thought was right with it in regards to having medicine and, you know, the type of medicine I need. So that was a big lesson, and it's something I've carried with me now, where people make decisions and they're probably not the decisions I would make, and I can comfortably just step back and go, okay, you know, I respect that, and that's your decision. Whereas before it was a bit more of a tug of war of wanting to not change their mind, but kind of educate them or something about, you know, perhaps there is some dangerous side effects of some things that you should look into and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so that was a big wake-up call for me. And I think probably a wake-up call for a lot of people, just to realize that there's more and more information that's come out about that kind of medicine and the side effects it's had, and that it was experimental and there are some dangers to it. And what sticks in my mind at the moment is that the mainstream media doesn't really cover this at all to any kind of degree. Sorry, I often get this funny throat thing when I'm talking. So to me, if that's happening on one side, that there's all this information about a particular kind of medicine, and it's a big story and big news, and then there's mainstream media not even kind of touching on it. I don't know, what does that tell you about mainstream media? That perhaps they're in some kind of ties with the corporations that produced all this stuff. So anyway, so for me, I think all this stuff that's going on and other things that are happening around the world are really to sort of create friction and a little bit of glitchy disturbance to try and wake people up. And I was listening to going back to the ambulance, listening to the ambulance and thinking to myself, I don't really want to be in this energy of this frenetic energy, this kind of fractious energy. And you might say, well, the ambulance is just there helping someone, and that's true as well. But I really think more and more what we take note of and what we want and what we like reflects, and what we talk about reflects the outcome of what we experience, and more and more to a greater degree. So I just thought I'd touch on that because I'm finding every day has a really different energy. Some days I can be kind of in this calm state. Other days I feel quite anxious. Other days I'm really tired. Other days I've got this like superpower energy. And some days feel like time has just gone way too quickly. And other days feels like it's dragged out for a while and then it speeds up. So it all feels sort of, yeah, glitchy or kind of grating a little bit and grating our energies. So I have to I'm practicing a lot on keeping my energy really balanced. And I do that with tuning forks, and when I strike my tuning fork, I say words or a statement to kind of give that tuning a direction, and yeah, that's sort of balancing myself some kind of harmonic direction where I want to go and what I would like to achieve. And this is what we do on my Thursday group as well. Excuse me. So we do and Elaine does it, and I've got an interview on YouTube with Elaine. She does it in a very kind of extensive way, which is really interesting. So I'm getting to the 11-minute mark, and fingers crossed this isn't going to cut out on me, because this is where it was cutting out on me before. So anyway, moving on. Yeah, so my focus at the moment is daily just getting back into a balanced harmony. And I think within the natural world, in nature, it's already in this balance state most of the time, if it hasn't been interfered with too much by humans and structures and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, getting out into parks, beaches, looking at the sun, if the sun shines here and there when it's not raining, and just really tuning into places where there is a very balanced harmonic vibration. So what I thought would be nice today is to do a meditation. And I thought I'd do it a little bit differently, because I heard the other day, and I should write these down when I hear people talk about different things. Someone was talking about, I'll write down the person's name so I can refer you to them, but someone was talking about the pink light that's everywhere in the world, and that's the love that is kind of in our existence from kind of the broader consciousness. And it's love that's wanting to be part of us. And so I was thinking, you know, often with my meditations, we start off with a love light breathing. And I thought it'd be nice to, instead of seeing the love as a tangible light or white light color, we could use the pink. And a few years ago, I saw a lot around me, and I don't know why I don't see it still. Sometimes when I'd look through, if there was a glass table outside and I was wearing my glasses, and I'd look at the glass table which didn't have a color on it, I'd see pink. The reflection of the sky was pink. And sometimes when I'd quickly look at the sky, I would see the sky as pink as well, when it wasn't pink. There wasn't a sunset or anything like that. So, so I've got, over the years, lots of snippets of actually visually seeing this pink aura, I suppose, of the earth and our environment. And I think that's be nice to incorporate into the meditation. So basically it's just the meditation and my conversation today is just to remind us to find that place of balance daily, because if we don't, we can get caught up in all the fractious energy and the glitchiness of it, and the friction and the grating of it. So I think, and some days it might be great and you're feeling like you're in a really harmonious place, but I think for me, I do a daily tune myself in before I go to sleep, and I say a lot of statements of gratitude for what's happened during that day. So when I wake up the next day, I'm kind of in a balanced place as much as I can be. Okay, so why don't we just get comfortable, sitting up gently with a straight back. And if you want to, lying down is good. And Hands on your lap, palms up if that's comfortable. Taking some nice, deep, gentle belly breaths. And start breathing in the love pink light. So if you can, with your mind's eye, imagine this light going into your body and your lungs is a beautiful, gentle pink colour. And as you breathe, your body fills up with all this pink light. And then your body starts to naturally breathe in and out the pink light with your breath. And you do this a few times. So just imagine you're doing this all the time during the meditation, but you don't have to focus on it strongly. Just think in your back of your mind it's happening. Perhaps now just gently imagine you're in your place of balance. And this is a good meditation to do at night if you can't get out to the places that make you feel calm, relaxed, and in harmony with the world. So just imagine you're there. For me, it's being by the beach and feeling warm sand and wet sand and water on my feet while I'm walking. Hearing the waves. So you just tune into what makes you feel balanced and harmonious. And if you'd like to call in the light beings to do gentle healings or just to be with you, perhaps request them to help you achieve this balanced state quickly and effortlessly. Okay, pause here if you'd like to continue on with the meditation. So I found that really relaxing, just the pink light. I could see in my mind's eye just this beautiful pink kind of resonating ball of light. So it was lovely. So I think that's something I'm going to do a lot as I go to sleep, just breathing in the pink light gently and sitting with it, and yeah, just sitting with it. Once I did the little visualization of being by the beach, I sort of let that go. I was very relaxed, and then I just sat with the pinkness of the light, and that was just lovely. So I hope that helps or assists someone. You put these things in your toolkit, and if they resonate and they work for you, you can use them when it's needed, which is great. And what else was I going to say? I think that's it. I think I had something else to say, but I can't think. Anyway, I haven't done my drawings. Oh, I was going to say, sorry. Remember the light being, your group of light beings. So call them in frequently, and just my knowing is that they really want to work with you, and it's quite easy to do now. I think we're in a stage of the world kind of healing where these light beings, and you have your own team of light beings, and they really want to assist you in healing on so many levels. And they can I find that they speed up the healing process when you're a bit stuck and you've tried lots of avenues to heal. And this can be physical and emotional and energetic on so many levels, which it all is energetic anyway. So that's it, and I haven't got on to finishing my drawing. I've still got one I'm doing, but they'll come soon, hopefully. So I'll see you next time, and please, if you'd like to share and subscribe, and speak to you later. Bye.